I want to take the minute to talk about what I consider to be a serious issue. And I pray that you don't take my language as vulgar. Sunny Days 305, we come up with the hardest topics. And so my mind is always thinking about things. And so I wonder, how long did it take some of us that have been in prison for a long time once we got out? How long did it take for our joystick to start back working? Right? Because when you think about it, especially in my case, when I first went into prison, of course, I was highly sexual active prior to coming to prison. And so once I got in, being sexually hyper, so I did a lot of masturbation them first weeks and months, a lot. I'm talking like a lot, like probably overboard, right? And as time kept going and kept going, as time kept going, as time kept going, some kind of way my mind got the understanding that the sexual part of my life, that reproduction system that God had blessed me with, I had to put my nature on hold. Right? And so anything that have to do with sex, my mind and my body understood that it was a disconnect there. Right? And so as I sojourned the years and years in prison, if I don't agitate myself, then I have no reason for an erection. So you might have a person going, me, because I don't know what somebody else's private parts do. I may go months upon months or maybe years without getting an erection in prison because I had to set my sexual life, my nature aside, right? Fast forward. So in my mind, when I get out of prison, like, my wife gonna have to deal with me. Like, it's gonna be major pressure because, like, when I was younger, like, I would line up, So in my mind, I'm gonna do the same line up mentality, but I'm gonna use it on my wife, right? And so I gets home the first day and we do this thing. I'm not going to get into that because that could get vulgar. So I'm not going to get into that part. But we took care of the business. It was beautiful. It was, my man, I'm telling you, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I could go back to back to back to back to back to back to back, right? But, so once I finished that first, got that first one off, I'm thinking, man, since it been so long, 20-something years, that thing would just double clutch and it didn't happen, right? And so I found myself needing Viagra. And I don't know if I thought I needed Viagra because I was impatient with my nature to give it time enough to catch up with reality? Or did I lose confidence in me getting erection because I did not need that part in 20-something years. So I think that because of of my mind, what was going on in my mind, it prevented me from getting an erection. And so I think this December, I will have been out of prison for 8 years, right? And I think just last week, I started waking up with a Woody. And I seen it, I'm like, oh, 'cause I watched that movie, Stella Got a Groove Back, right? And so I seen it, I kind of looked at it with my peripheral, made a mental note, So, so as time went on, later on that evening, you know what, little Woody again, right? So I'm like, you back? So it has taken me 8 years for my sexual nature to catch back up with reality. So for I don't know if it was for my lack of confidence. I don't know, when you put things on the shelf for years, I don't know if you can go right back to it and deal with it. I don't know, like if you had a car and you set it in your garage for 20-some years, do you think that you could go right in your car, put the key in the ignition, crank it up, and drive off? Just because the car was sitting up, you might need to put a new engine in it, even though you haven't been driving it because you have put your car on the shelf. And so I want to ask some of my brothers, because maybe it's just me, but I think this is a valid conversation for brothers that done been in prison 10, 20, 30, 40 years and has put there the nature that God have given them, the nature of to multiply and subdue. So the multiplication that he put in my DNA, I had to cut that part out and set it outside of my life. And so once I got out of prison, I put the key in and the thing went, it wouldn't turn over. As a matter of fact, first and then it started. So I needed a battery, I needed antifreeze, I needed tune up, I needed a lot of stuff to get that car crunked back up. Right? And so that's what I'll close with. It took my natural physical body 8 years to reacclimate to the reality that you could function again after putting that joystick on hold for 20-something years. I want to open that dialogue up with some of my brothers that did a lot of time. Did you have to use something? Did you have confidence? Were you able to line them up? Or have your joystick connected back in its rightful place, because we're free now. Peace. Greetings. This is Sunny Days 305 Degrees podcast. Our community said they wanted a platform that they could get their ideas and their messages out. Hence, Sunny Days 305 is on fire.